Welcome to My Creative Corner 3, a podcast about quilting, crafting, creativity, and life in a northern town. You'll find show notes at mycreativecorner3.wordpress.com. You can leave a comment, you can sign up for my patron site, you can purchase a virtual cup of coffee, or even sign up for the newsletter. Come back weekly and we'll chat. My name is Vicki, and welcome to the podcast. It's Limbo week. Can you believe it? It's the week between Christmas and New Year. You're kind of in limbo. For me, it's a short work week. I normally take a vacation, but this year I did not. You know, with the pandemic, where you're going to go and why burn vacation time? It's kind of slow, but at the same time, it's work. So it's the limbo between the holidays and New Year and making plans. So I'm trying to come up with a New Year word for the year and all of the goals and resolutions. And okay, so I decided no resolutions this year. I have joined, probably more in spirit, a group called Stay Home, Stay Motivated, SHSM Life on Instagram. And it's really for people who have a Peloton. I don't have a Peloton. But if you remember, we have been building our home gym. And right before Christmas, my Christmas present from my husband and I, my husband and I came. And that's a Concept 2 rowing machine. It's really amazing. It's really high quality. It's better quality than some of the rowers I've used in gyms. And we are not going back to the gym. It just doesn't work for us. And it's the germs and the pandemic, but it's just the gym doesn't work. People are really pressed for time. And then there are those people who are disrespectful of other people's time. And, it just becomes difficult. So the Stay Home, Stay Motivated Life is a group where they're working on evolution of yourself for the next 30 days. And I like that. I like these small wins are wins type of a thought. It goes with my working on something 15 minutes a day and incorporating it into your normal routine like Fly Lady and adapting things to where it works for you. So the Stay Home, Stay Motivated movement starts out with a grid of 4 things that you need to work on. A couple things in what's called movement, a couple of things in wellness, a couple of things in happiness and nutrition. Now, today I did a complete blog post if you want to read more in depth about it. But what I decided, and I'm going to put these types of things in my Instagram stories, is that the movement is I have been working on being able to row any length of time because I was so out of shape. I could hardly walk around the block last year in March, but I've made progress. Not as fast as what I would like, but I've made progress. So I want to row 3,000 meters, and I'd like to do it in a half hour or less because being realistic, I am not going to work out every day for more than 20 to 30 minutes. And then I also have resistance bands that the goal is probably not in the next month, but get strong enough to where I can lift a barbell with no weight on it and do some strength training. My husband has a wonderful setup, so I'm looking at that. Then the wellness is what am I going to do for wellness? How am I going to find things to cope with life? And it's getting good habits of listening to podcasts that are positive and about positivity. And then I thought daily mindfulness would be a good thing. The other part for happiness is I want to podcast twice over the next month minimum. And I want to quilt just for fun. Yeah, just for fun. And the nutrition is easy. I want to well-balanced diet, and I want to follow the diet that my doctor has prescribed for me, which is I got to watch carbs and keep it at 150 or less. So after doing just a couple weeks of light workouts, it's going well. I went from being only able to do a few minutes to 5 minutes to 10 to 20. I'm up to 20 minutes of rowing in about 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and I'm not crippled up sore is occasionally, but usually when I do something like ride an exercise bike or walk on a treadmill, I'm in instant pain and the pain never goes away. And I'm not that way. So I'm very excited. I think I found my thing because I've been looking for it for a long time. But I knew rowing was an overall body exercise. And so I may be talking about rowing a lot, hoping that it helps with my fitness goals. And I just want to lose 5 pounds at a time. And really, my ultimate goal is to be healthier. And that means, labs and all that stuff better because they were terrible this last time. Did I tell you that? They were terrible. And I know better. And some of it, is I'm going to have to work harder. Some of it is I might have to work with my doctor on some sort of medication change, but I'm not ready for a different medication program yet. So that's my exciting thing because we're staying home. We're trying to stay motivated around here. Staying home has been easy for me. It's hard though after a while when you're like, oh, wouldn't it be great to go to? Oh, wouldn't it be great to? No. So I did surprise my parents for a socially distanced Christmas Eve. The weather wound up being good. We drove down there, sat 6 to 10 feet away in their large family room, masks on the whole time, no meals, it was just a few hours of catching up and seeing each other, exchanging gifts. And it was great. It was great for them. It was great for me. But that's after we've all been home for months, not going anywhere. My sister popped over. She doesn't go anywhere except to a socially distanced workplace, and same as my husband. So I felt it was a very low risk visit, but we're hunkering down. We've been invited to a big event for New Year's Eve. No, nope, not going to do it because I'm not ready to get out there. And I'm waiting for the vaccine to get out into the level of services that I'm at where I can get it. So anyway, that's just been the long haul of it, right? The pandemic is kind of stinking it up. But the biggest thing is that winter is here. Now it's a little bit sunny today, which is fantastic. The sun's coming in and out. It's peeking in and out of the clouds. We got a lot of snow last weekend. And then it warmed up a bit, and we're going to get blasted with snow again on New Year's Eve, as we normally do. So we are staying home. I'm going to try to stay up late enough to watch the ball drop on TV at Times Square. Yeah, I'm not even going to walk around. Sometimes we walk around downtown if they have a little ball drop down under the pavilion. We have a big pavilion in a social gathering place. No, we're not doing that. Even though it's outside and it would be low risk. No, we're supposed to get 5 inches of snow and terrible wind and cold. So I'm going to be home having my healthy snacks. I'm thinking of making barbecued meatballs and veggie trays, cheeses. We have all that. So we're set. Been to the store enough over the last week buying groceries. It's been rough trying to find meat. Up here, so Walmart is the store that has more meat. My preferred shopping store is a regional grocer called Meijer. They don't have a lot of meat. It's terrible. You go in and it's like, yeah, there's things, but it's not what I would normally buy. So I've been trying to make some interesting meals, but it's been kind of a joke. Okay, it's been kind of a joke. So they've been healthier, but not great. So that's where I'm like going to keep working this program. And then as soon as I can find one, I'm buying a new food processor to make some energy balls for snacks that will be much, much healthier than the granola bars that I've been eating. So That's my big motivation. Yeah, kind of a New Year thing that I normally do, but at the same time, it's going to be different. It's all about small wins, small changes, and daily resetting that reset button, even if it's every couple hours. So, excuse me. What have I been working on? Well, I wound up doing five, yes, five shawls, crocheted shawls. It's the Jane shawl, and then I did a sixth one for myself that I'm wearing today. The one I made for myself is all pinks and purples. It's a triangle shaped shawl with a miter at the center point, and I love it because you can wear it. I'm currently wearing it with the triangle in the front, but you could flip it around and wear it traditionally with the triangle part in the back. And it's nice and warm, and I just love it. It's very comfortable. And that was my big handwork type of a project for the last several months. If you remember correctly, I believe I made my first one in September. Then my finger has gotten very, very sore. I have some pretty good arthritis going in it. I've had it checked by my doctor. We've got different program going to keep it healthy, but I need to change up from crochet. I really want to finish my 2018 temperature hexagons, and I really don't have much left, but the finger has just been too sore to do it. Hopefully it will be better in 2021. So I decided, I bought a whole bunch of these lion brand yarn. It's called Thread Up yarn. And what's so cool about it is that it is recycled fibers. It's cotton, and it would make great washcloths, placemats, things that would be washed often. And so I started out again with grandmother's favorite dishcloth. It's so fun. It's zen. You just knit to yarn over and then knit to the end. And that's on, what do they call it? Corner to corner. So it's on a diagonal. I'm loving these. I have enough to make probably a million over the course of the winter because it was a big sale when I bought this yarn online, and I bought a whole bunch, and I used this yarn and made my mom one of these shawls. It's really pretty, and it's really warm. So that's my handwork project until I can get my finger working. Yeah, I'm just bummed about it. But it'll get better. I just have to try to be positive. I have also worked on Just Get It Done quilts, origami style um, folded leaf looking folded flower. It looks like a poinsettia. There we go. It's super fun. It's dimensional, and it's got all kinds of points. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. I sewed a button in the middle, and then it's hexagonal shaped. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun? Because she had them as ornaments. You could put a ribbon on the back, hang it on your tree, which I did one. And I thought, you know what, wouldn't it be super fun to put this on my leather screw pins, leather button screws, I think they're called. There we go, leather button screws. I bought at Hobby Lobby. Glue this hexagon on that, and then wear it with my shawl. Oh my goodness. It looks like a really pretty pin. And in fact, the ones I made were the big, huge flowers. They're they look like peonies in the fabric with purples and pinks and a gray background. And it goes with my Nene makes Jane shawl super good. And it would keep the edge of the shawl folded over, or I could use it as a closure and put the pin there. Yes. I even did one with a shiny button. That might make the best pin. So I was having fun with that. Now this is all on Just Get It Done Quilts YouTube channel, and she has a blog also. So you take a piece of fabric and you put interfacing on it, and there's a trick on how to fold it and stitch it, and then you stitch the button together, and it makes the elongated triangles. I just love them. It was a fun thing to try, and I have more fabric that I have interfacing on, and I might make some more later on this year to send out. I don't know. It was just a fun thing to do. I'm not so sure that I would use them for Christmas tree ornaments, but they make a great accessory, I think, as a pin or a brooch or something for your hand knit stuffs. So I've been working on that. And then the quilting part. So I signed up to do the Best Friends Quilt Along, and I'm doing it with Angel of Halo Inspirations. And it is a super fun quilt. But what I like about it is that two people can do it or more. You can do it as a quilting bee. And the Fat Quarter Shop is, partnered up with Lori Holt and Kimberly Jolly, and Lori did their little friend story. And then I put our little friend story, and Angel put our little friend story on our blogs. And it's so fun. You can do this so easily because it's a foundation paper pieced pattern, and it is, I put it on the reveal of what the quilt is. It's not a secret. It's on my Instagram, and it's really pretty, but it's made up of all these foundation paper pieced blocks. But foundation paper piecing makes all of the blocks the same size, so it is in fact 4 different blocks, and you can buy these pads that are already pre-printed by Fat Quarter Shop. So I had the pineapple, so it takes 4 of the little pineapple foundation paper piece. They're all 6.5 inches, which is my favorite size to quilt, because large ones you've got to do the folding of the paper and measuring, and then lots of and then you got to do it, and then you got to do it. Where these are small, I don't need to fold the papers. I can hold them with my hands and anchor it. I don't need sew tight magnets or glue or whatever. And so you can find these at Fat Quarter Shop, and all of the fabric requirements and all of that, I will put that in the description below or on the show notes. So look at this, is super fun. The next one is economy, and there's quite a few of these blocks in there. And then there is the log cabin, which I'm working on some of the log cabins right now, and courthouse steps, which is basically a log cabin, but the coloration placement is different, versus half of the log cabin being colors and half of the log cabin being white, which is a suggestion for this block to get the star shape, as well as the courthouse steps, which is, across from each other. The blocks, the logs that rotate, are colored in white. So that is an easy way to make a quilt. If you use the 6.5 inch blocks, I'm sorry, that siren got me a little distracted. That's the one thing about living in town. You hear the traffic. I believe this is right around a 50 or 60 inch quilt. If you use the 12-inch blocks, which is a lot more difficult, I think it would be probably a small queen sized. I think it's 90 something. So all of that is at Fat Quarter Shop's information, and you can get all of the details, or deets. I was going to say deets. When did I become that? We're going to have the deets. Oh boy, I've been on social media way too much, right? So that's the quilting project that I've been working on. And on to long arming. It's sad. The long arm all of a sudden just quit making good stitches. Now, it's been several years since it's been serviced, so it's over at the service center with the person who has worked on it the most over all these years. But it's a 10-year-old machine. So do you get nervous when your car breaks down and you don't really know what's wrong with it? That's kind of how I feel about this. I think it just needs a service. But the sad part is as I looked at the custom quilt, the Valentine one that I was working on, there's parts of it it looked good on the top and I thought it was good, but I might need to take those stitches out and redo it. There's also some pleats on the back, which is very, very discouraging for me. But, I can only do what I can do. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it did that. Sometimes quilts just do what they do, and even with some experience and trying things and you do it exactly the same way every time for best results, sometimes you just don't get results that are perfect. So it's just kind of how it goes. But the good news is he hasn't called me saying that there's been a problem. So in my book, no news is good news. So hopefully I will hear after the holidays that it's serviced and that it's stitching well, and we'll go from there. But he had a real cute setup, a cute machine, meaning it's a little bit smaller machine. It's probably the same size as the machine I have with a different frame option, which my frame is wearing out. You've heard that before. So, I mean, there's some options that are much less expensive than they used to be, and it's a handy quilter option. So I will, fingers crossed that it's going to work out. But that's my long arming is nothing's been happening for several weeks. And all of the work I've put on this quilt to make it really special is not looking great. So I'm going to have to take quite a bit out. And the sad part is I have all of the whole quilt background stitching done. I was just going to do some finishing touches on the stars. So I don't know. I'm going to have to do some research and thinking. And I have a long time, I have months before this lady, she's a snowbird, and before she comes back in the spring, and then we'll just have to go from there. So that is the long arming. Now, something that I thought that would be fun to talk about right now is, since I'm doing these paper piece things, they are super, super zen. And I have to say, I haven't made too many log cabins in the past. And when I did, they were either wonky, which on purpose, wonky log cabins, like Krista Watson. She had some really good ones, patterns with those. And I haven't done very many other log cabins traditionally, like even just pieced, and they always turned out wobbly and curved seams, and it's just awful. But I am finding that I can do one of these 6-inch blocks in like 20 to 30 minutes if I have all of the strips cut. And I like to cut the strips tip time. I like to cut the strips a little bit wider and a little bit longer and trim it down each seam. And then I like to press the seam, and it just flies. So I have a cute little iron that I have set up next to my sewing machine. Now, I never used to do that. I saved this iron for going to retreats, which I never really go to. But just a second here. In case you didn't know, this is an audio, but I'm also doing a video simulcast that's on YouTube. This is a new thing for me, so I'm trying to get the little iron that I have set up, and it was at Hobby Lobby. I believe it's super small. It's a Dritz. It's white. It even steams, and it fits in the palm of your hand. I love this little iron because my table, I sew at my dining room table, is just big enough for my mini portable Omnigrid. Half of this is for a cutting and half is for ironing. So tip, that works. Set up your power station and you can sew and iron as you go. So anyway, I'm back, and I wanted to say, set up your battle station. Use your little mini iron. This was not expensive. My Dritz iron from Hobby Lobby with the 40% off coupon. I have the mini cutting board and ironing pad with my sewing machine that sits right in front of me. You can get a lot done, and I have minimized the ups and downs from the chair. So I'm pretty excited about my new motivating things with the rowing machine and being able to get some good healthy habits, including some tidying up around here and thinning down the excess Amazon boxes that just keep going and going. So have you realized this? I mean, maybe it's just me. 2 years ago we did not have Amazon Prime, but we ordered zero from Amazon. Last year we ordered 10 or 15 items with Amazon and we didn't have Prime. And then in January, we decided let's try Prime. We got a deal, and we kind of thought maybe with the hearing about this pandemic, it'll be a good thing. I've ordered 50 things from Amazon this year, including that was Christmas too. But like, wow, when you have it, you will use it. I mean, at least we do, because we live in a rural place, and nothing is in the stores really. You have to order everything, even all of this exercise equipment. We ordered 90% of it online and had it shipped. And then we bought some used barbell equipment, but everything else was purchased online. So yeah, we've done a lot of that. So with that comes a lot of cardboard, and it's snowing, and at least the sun's out right now. Hopefully we can break down the cardboard and get it to the recycling center before New Year and the big blizzard that's supposed to start tonight and tomorrow. It's not a blizzard, it's like 5 or 6 inches of snow, but I like to make it sound exciting and big because there's nothing going on right now, right? So I think on our keeping busy is also watching movies. So I'm going to see if we can come up with a couple of good movies to watch for the New Year's weekend. I've been really, football's been very disappointing, and it's wrapping up, and I'm kind of like bored with it. And I've been watching a lot of Curiosity Stream. YouTube's got a lot of Time Team and other history shows, so I've been watching a lot of that too. But yeah, so how funny. So hopefully, as you start to prepare your word for the year, mine is going to be mindfulness and being mindful, probably mindful. I really want to focus on that again in 2021, because I don't think that being organized and getting planners and mapping out strategies and it's not going to work for me. It's going to be day to day, 5 minutes at a time, an hour at a time, a day at a time, right? Because everything is in flux. We just don't know, like with my job, when I'm going back to the office, we don't know. All of these things change on a moment's notice. And so I have to be mindful and prepared. So maybe the second part of it's being mentally flexible. So I'm working on the physical flexibility and mental flexibility. So that's where mindfulness comes in. And overall, the year is just going to be what it is. And I'm not going to get too hung up on it. So everything is a day at a time. Like long arming, I might not be doing any long arming for other people if the machine is broken and can't be fixed. But we'll find out. Have to be flexible. Going to work on the things that I need to work on, and that January will take care of itself, I guess is the bottom line. So remember, everything that you do, just take it one stitch, one block, one row at a time, everything in 10 or 15 minute increments. And it's the small wins, the small victories, the small changes that will stick is how it works for me anyway. So remember, you can sign up for my Patreon program, which is on Podbean if you want to be a monthly supporter, or you can also buy me a virtual cup of coffee on Etsy. And the other thing is I have a newsletter that I'm doing a few times a year. You can find that on my blog, and that's where the show notes are also at mycreativecorner3.wordpress.com. And I wish everyone the most wonderful, safe, and healthy of New Year's. Quilt on, everyone.